Component 3, class question book, question 10, our essay, ADH and Ecstasy. Quite a difficult sort of second half to this essay really. ADH, so we are thinking about things that we're going to talk about. Well, the only real bit of knowledge that we have to start with is ADH. That's definitely going to be one thing that we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about all the theory of blood-water control, and then talk about the effects of ecstasy. So let's think about things that we might talk about with ADH. We can say it's a hormone. You could say where it's made and released. So you could say released from the pituitary gland. We could talk about what it does. So affects the permeability of cells of the collecting duct wall to water. And that's in the kidney. We could give examples. So, for example, drink lots. You're going to say, what would happen? So, ADH affects the permeability of cells, but increases that permeability. So, if you drunk lots, for example, then you would have. Would you want the water back in your body? No. So that'd be less ADH. If you drunk less, or you were hot, losing water, then you'd get more ADH. So you could keep water in your body. So you can have a nice discussion about ADH using all the knowledge that you've got, and that's one area. You're going to talk about what ecstasy would do. And then that leads to more ADH. And then say, well, what will that do? So more water be absorbed back into body, into the blood. And so now we've got a problem. So more ADH, then more water reabsorbed, and then we've got a problem because this affects the normal homeostatic controls. This affects the normal homeostatic control. Body cannot get rid of excess water. And then we have got the last bit, which is the implications. And during this story, you're giving examples, and you could give numbers as well. The normal range of ADH, I could 1 to 2.5 picomole dm minus 3. Increase of ADH, I could use our numbers there up to 4.5 P mol dm minus 3. So now lastly are implications. So you might be a little bit stuck on what to talk about. Well, too much water. And you're thinking, right, cells, water. Well, when I did transport and osmosis, I did about water moving into cells. We did about turgidity of plant cells. We did about red blood cells bursting and things like that. So that's the bit of knowledge that you need. So things like cells absorb water by osmosis. You can talk about water potential gradients. And then, you think that the volume of these cells would increase. The ions and other chemicals that are useful in cells, well, the concentration of those would decrease as you've got more water. So, got volume of cells increases. The concentration of ions or any other useful chemicals decreases. You could have cells burst, that sort of suggestion, or expand. And the typical extreme sort of example is the blood pressure increasing, and then problems with the brain pressing against the skull. So blood pressure increases, brain presses against a skull. So try and put your science and water potential and volume and pressure and those sorts of technical words in here, and in nice flowing sentences.